Here we are at City Hall, where medical apartheid has now begun. Let me just ask someone a question. Hey man, nice stall you have here. Can I just ask you a question? How does it feel to be out here with the unvaxxed? Do you not feel you need to be in there behind the magic gates to feel safe? Did you get charged less for being out here with us? Sorry, what was that, sir? Okay, no worries. Good luck.
How unbelievably offensive that is.
The media is the virus. You said it.
No, you can't. I need to.
Sorry, excuse me, buddy. Cheers. Get your papers, please. Show me your papers, please. Show me your papers. Papers, show me your papers. Show me your papers, please. Show me your papers. You guys have to go in. Papers, please. Papers, please. Papers, please. Put your mask on. I know where you are, sir. This is the New World Order, okay? There is no protest. You will own nothing and you will be happy.
That's why we're here.
Oh.
Protest against it.
We should be part of the great upset.
That's well done, sir.
How's everybody enjoying the Build Back Better agenda? Show me your papers, please. Show me your papers, please. Papers, please. Show me your papers, please. Here, man. You ever had an STD? Have you?
You to the left and you to the right.
Huh? Have you ever shit your pants?
Remember that one? You to the left and you to the right. That
No.
was 1939.
Hey guys, just want to thank you all for coming here for a start. We are here peacefully, so if anybody does try to cause any trouble, if we just walk away and leave them stomping on their own, everybody know who they are then. So just avoid any trouble, walk away and keep it peaceful, guys. We're not here to cause any trouble, we're here to get our point across. Nervous? Look, I'm not one for talking, so I just wrote a few bits down here. We all know why we're here. This isn't by any means an anti-vax campaign. This is people from all over Northern Ireland, regardless of differences. We're here to make a stand, not only for ours, but our children's rights, futures, because they are the future. What we don't fight for now will have a knock-on effect on any chance they have of the future. And I, for one, am not prepared to let that happen. We're standing here today as free men and women. Wake up every day, free to make choices, when to wake, what to wear, what to put in our bodies or not. And we're also free to go where we want, when we want, without being harassed or asked for a passport. Who are they to tell us we need a passport to enter premises, to shop, to cater for our families? Shake it. Today is the day we make a stand together, united and determined to get our voices heard and end this abuse of our human rights. We will win this and we won't be backing down. When I look back at my kids in 10, 20 years from now, I want to look back on this as a bad dream. But I want to know we stood here, we fought, we changed this for theirs, for their futures and won. Sorry, I'm shaking here. Before I go, to all the so-called politicians, you will be held accountable for this. We are coming for you, and we'll keep coming for you. Good luck when you come to my door with empty promises begging for votes. Yes. Today the revolution begins. Today we start to take back our rights, our freedoms, and we'll never go down this road again. This is a part of history that will never be repeated. Lastly from me, thanks to you all for your time and effort here today. Just go home knowing that we are on the right side of history. Stephen. I'm going to pass this on to Stephen here.
Hello folks, people of Belfast. Many of you will know me, many of you won't. I don't know about all of you, but this has been the longest 2 weeks of my life. From this first started out, from this whole pandemic started out, folks, they only had one thing in mind: to take control of us as a people. They've started out, they planted seeds in our minds. They locked us up in the first lockdown, stuck us all in front of a television. This has been their way of controlling the minds of the masses, folks. They think by showing you these projects on TV that it makes it real. There is nothing real about anything that this government has done for the last 100 years on this island. Everything they have done has been by trick and deceit, folks. They have imposed themselves upon us. I mean, let's face it. Any time a bunch of people sit down and think, let's get a group together and tell everybody what else to do. Last I remember, that was called a prescribed organisation, folks. Anyone involved in a prescribed organisation is carrying out crimes. Crimes against their people. Crimes against humanity. I stood here in this same spot 15 months ago, gave a similar speech about the mandating of masks, about the self-inflicted illnesses that they're going to put upon us. I spoke about these vaccines, folks. I didn't speak about being an anti-vaxxer. I spoke about being guinea pigs. That's how these people see us. They have shifted us. They have shifted our equal status. We're all born equal, folks. I don't remember sitting down and signing a contract and giving these people the authority to tell us what to do in our lives, with our bodies. When we talk about medical apartheid, folks, for 60, 70 years they have stripped us from nature. They have stolen the very fabric of society that brought us together as a species, not as a belief system. These people sit in car behind their TV screens. They say what they want to say and expect us to follow suit. I don't expect anyone standing here today to do as they're told. Don't expect anyone to do as I tell them. Everyone in their own private capacity, folks, has the power to stand up to each one of these individuals. We have the power of arrest, folks. It's a universal declaration. It's not a right. It's not something written on a piece of paper. It's something we are born with. We are all born equal. We are all born free. And we will die free. And I say, anyone who gets in our way, let's fucking steamroll them. That's me for now. All I can ask for everyone that is here, stood here gathered, understand your individual power. Understand what it has got you out of bed this morning, made you all raise up and come here today. There is no one here that can stop us moving forward, folks. They may give you that impression through television. Everything on there is fiction, folks. Their power of authority, it's a fiction. Their power of attorney, it's a fiction. These are all presumptions, folks. We do not live in a world of presumptions. When you believe a presumption, you're under mind control. You allow them to dictate every day of your life. Work 40 hours a week as a slave-driven master to pay your wages back to that same system that just wants to send it out to other countries. They want you to slave yourselves for a fabric that they believe to be true. Folks, this monetary system is the very thing that has us all in a state of depression. It's what's caused mental health for the last 100 years in this country. Besides the political agendas, the two-party system, everything has been set up to separate us and divide us. For all the traumas the last 60, 70 years on this island, they have messed with the wrong people, folks. What they forget to remember is, we've been there. We've done it. We're standing with the t-shirts. We're coming for you. Whether you like it or not, whether you think you're protected by your private organisations, your Stasi forces. Folks, to be honest, I was going to try and start off with a bit of a joke. I was going to try and speak some German, but it's not within me. I'm sure the people working behind us with their fancy dress outfits on would be pretty fluent in it. Papers. Don't they have a cheek to ask us for our papers? But yet they won't show us their papers. Their papers that they claim gives them its authority to tell us what to do. Looking around me here, folks, I don't see a crowd of Egyptian mummies. I don't see a people wrapped up in paper. I see a people with a free spirit and freedom of movement. The only way we can move into prosperity, folks, is if we create it and we manifest it. They have instilled fear into us for the last 18 months. It's time for us to instill fear into the Emmons. Drop, make.
Perspective of a child.
Summer, we love you! My name is Summer and I am 9 years old. I am not jabbed and don't want to be. Why should I? Then it doesn't stop me from catching or passing on COVID. I am a child and should not be held responsible for adults' health. It is always Go on, Summer! It was always the other way around. Let me be free to enjoy my young years and be a child. I cannot legally buy cigarettes or alcohol, but I can take an experimental injection without my consent. Something is very wrong here.
Sons and daughters, mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, friends, and dare I say it, jabbed and unjabbed. No matter what or who you are, we are all one and the same. Free people of the earth, born this way. And do you know what? It's beautiful to see you all here today, gathered together in unity. I stand here in front of you today, posing as one of our greatest freedom fighters. A man who in his time took on the biggest tyrant of his time and eventually won. Just like we will, by sticking together. A man who started the ball rolling in these islands and fighting for freedom. A man who will surely be turning in his grave at what's happening now to us all. I stand here in front of you today to deliver a message that I believe he would say he'd be here now. And that message is about something that is in each and every one of our DNAs. It's a message about freedom. It's something that we are born with inherently in us, is that sense of freedom. And what he would say is what I would say to you now. I see an army of you in front of me, of like-minded people, stood together in defiance of tyranny and oppression. You've come here from far and wide as free folk, and free folk you are. Generations before us have fought and died for the freedoms that we now possess. So what will you do with this freedom, folks? Will you fight for what you have left? Yes! Will you fight for what you have left? Yes! Will you fight to get back what's already been taken from us? Or will you leave from here today and go back to your daily lives and hope that everything is going to be okay? And it might be for a little while, until the establishment come back with more restrictions and more limitations and more demands from us, all of which are backed by their dodgy science and their lies. No one is safe, and I'll repeat that, no one is safe, because when they are done with the segregation of the unjabbed, it will be those who have only put themselves through the one jab. Then that will be those who have two, and so on. And let me tell you now, it will never end until they've used the system to take everything from us. Everything. So whoever we are, we're all in it together, which is why none of us can ever accept these so-called vaccine passport digital IDs. Universal adoption of these passports is not a trivial change, and we cannot be conditioned or coerced into thinking so.
Nobody can hear anything, mate. Turn it up. Nobody can hear anything.
Don't we start again? It's no less a fundamental inversion of those very rights and freedoms that allow us to be standing here today, everybody. So let me say this to you all, for it is critically important for you all to understand. And this isn't just for you, all of my family of free folk standing here now, but those passing by. Each and every one of you is passing by now, going about your daily lives and business. Today, we are essentially free to do anything that we choose, except where our actions are prohibited in law. However, after the introduction of the vaccine passports, the concept of freedom will be totally consigned to history. Yes. And if we are to learn from history, we can never, and that's, I repeat that, never let this or anything that is to follow on from those in the hill happen today. So, here in Belfast, where we are speaking of history today, let us make history by saying no to COVID passports, no to COVID restrictions, no to any more lies and coercion, no to the unnecessary jabbing of our children, no to Big Pharma, and no to the failing COVID jab. And I'll finish by sending a message on behalf of you all standing here today to the MLA puppets and the civil servants at Stormont. The Colony Street, Naomi Long, Doug Beattie, Michelle O'Neill, Jeffrey Donaldson, Robin Swan, Michael McBride, Nicola Mallon, and the rest of you. And the world leaders who are pushing this agenda upon us. We have our freedom. We are keeping our freedom. We will not let it go. Thank you, everybody.
I'm going to read you a passage from a book that was written about Nazi Germany. I want everyone here today to listen very carefully, both the vaxxed and the unvaxxed. The book was written by Milton Sanford Mayer, and it's called They Thought They Were Free. But the one great shocking occasion when tens or hundreds or thousands will join you never comes. That's the difficulty. If the last and worst act of the whole regime had come immediately after the first and the smallest, thousands, yes millions, would have been sufficiently shocked. If, let us say, the gassing of the Jews in 1943 had come immediately after the German firm stickers on the windows of the non-Jewish shops in 1933. But of course, this isn't the way it happens. In between come all the hundreds of little steps, some of them imperceptible, each of them preparing you not to be shocked by the next. Step C is not so much worse than step B. And if you did not make a stand at step B, why should you at step C? And so on to step D. And one day, too late, your principles, if you ever were sensible of them, all rush in upon you. The burden of self-deception has grown too heavy. And some minor incident, in my case, my little boy, hardly more than a baby, saying, Jewish swine, collapses it all at once. And you see that everything changed, has changed, and changed completely under your nose. The world you live in, your nation, your people, is not the world you were born in at all. The forms are all there, all untouched, all reassuring. The houses, the shops, the jobs, the meal times, the visits, the concerts, the cinema, the holidays. But the spirit, which you never noticed, because you made the lifelong mistake of identifying it with the forms, is changed. Now you live in a world of hate and fear, and the people who hate and fear do not even know it themselves. When everyone is transformed, no one is transformed. Now you live in a system which rules without responsibility even to God. The system itself could not have attended this in the beginning. But in order to sustain itself, it was compelled to go all the way. You, my people, you are in the fight of your life.
Yes. Yes.
A lot of what I just said, I hope some doctors, consultants and hospital management teams hear it. The responsibility lies with them. Have a good day, folks, and thanks for coming.
Right, guys, Martina's going to speak here on behalf of somebody else from
Belfast Trust.
From Belfast Trust.
Yep.
This is verified information, and it's, listen, you just need to hear this. Listen to every single word. This is 100% true.
I hadn't planned on speaking here today as I get anxious and nervous, but I've been sent some very informative and worrying information from a member of staff in the Belfast Trust that needs to be heard. This person is very reliable and trustworthy and wants this information shared, but at the same time wants to remain anonymous in order to keep their job. They have asked that their experience within the Trust to be shared with you, along with some details that are very concerning. Listen to their experience, all in their own words. I quote, March 2020, everything came to a halt, as you all know. All our clinics got cancelled, our nursing staff redeployed, and a lot ended up retiring or going on the sick. Honestly, people were so petrified of this in the beginning, myself included. I was coming home afraid to hug my children. I was walking through a hospital with no protection, no mask, wondering if the very air I was breathing was toxic. But I soon began to realise that things weren't adding up. I soon realised that things weren't adding up around May time, and I started to question everything. Our doctors were also redeployed, and when they eventually came back, I heard them say in their own words, we were standing about scratching our backsides. Then we had the TikTok nurses doing perfect dance routines full of energy. Where was the exhausted, overworked, understaffed nurses we were constantly being told about on the MSN? I certainly never seen any. Yeah. I'm really tired of it all at the minute. I can barely think straight. But all I can say is for months I had nothing to do. I was going to work to stare at a computer for 8 hours a day, play on the internet and watch Netflix on my phone, all while getting paid. I almost quit several times because I knew I was part of the lie and I hated myself and my job. But I needed to keep a roof over my kid's head and food on the table. I am ashamed to say I worked for the NHS. We have neglected so many people, and the ever-growing waiting list for surgeries are now pushing on 4 to 5 years minimum. It's sickening. Something else that has really annoyed me is the fact that we were portrayed as heroes. We were getting free food, pizza, all sorts of donations. We got free travel on public transport. We got all sorts of discounts in stores. And we were even applauded every Thursday night. And we deserved none of it. Yeah. The hospital itself made all their food and drinks free to all staff. We could have had many breakfasts, lunches, dinners, snacks, beverages, all at the Trust's expense. I thought at the time this was great, but I soon realised this was nothing short of bribery. Our hospital was so dead, they began redecorating. Painting the wards, laying new floors, etc. But any time I spoke out, I was shut down and basically made out to be a liar. But what has prompted me to share my experience is the email I received just the other day. It contained a to-do list, and although I can't go into too much detail publicly, as it may expose my identity, but I will share this with you. This email contained the most shocking and horrifying offer I have ever had in my career. They offered my colleagues and I the opportunity to earn some extra money. And here's the kicker. All that would be required of us would be to lie on a hospital bed and pretend we were patients. And we would get paid overtime for this. This made my skin crawl. Hence the reason for me sharing this with you all, unquote. Now I don't know about any of you, but I'm not surprised of what this brave staff member has disclosed. The corporation is corrupt to the core. So now more than ever, we need to make a stand together in solidarity with our fellow brothers and sisters around the world and not let them clowns in power dictate how we live our lives. We will never bow down to tyranny. We will never comply to dictatorship or segregation. There's been enough of that in this wee country over the years. And we will never become submissive no matter what they throw at us. They've done their worst. Now it's up to us to do our best for our children, for each other, and for mankind. When tyranny becomes law, resistance becomes freedom!
Just want to get a look and see this first myself. Cool FM have put an announcement out. We've had to close off the road because we didn't expect these numbers. Absolute legends. Every one of us give each other a hug and a pat on the back. This is only the start, guys. Northern Ireland has woken up. We're going to put an end to this. We're taking no more.
If you don't know, I'm the guy who kept this gym open. And I will do it again. I will remain that. Okay? Every single business needs to do mass non-compliance. Every single business needs to do that. Okay? I don't care if I have to lead the way or anybody has to do that. Okay? We have to move forward here. You can see all your faces here. I want you all to look left. I want you all to look right. And look at the people who's around me. Okay? They have tried to cause a divide for too long. Way too long. And we are here to stand up against them. Okay? We do not want no discrimination. I do not care if you're orange, green, whatever you are here today. Okay? We stand together as one. As one. Okay? There's no fear in any one of your eyes here, okay? There's fear in their eyes, okay? They fear us. This is why they bring this in, guys. They are afraid of us. The people have the power. We have the power. They have the fear. Freedom over fear all day, guys. Freedom over fear. I would rather die standing than live on my knees. That's me, guys. Thank you.
Jesus, there's a lot more here than I thought there was. Right, folks, listen, my name's Liam Black, and I'm going to basically tell you how to fight back, okay? What you have to understand is they can only do this here by using coercion and by using tricks of law, right? Now, I'm going to point something out. Everybody heard that you had to be vaccinated before you could go into the Christmas market. If you actually go, it says on the sign, you may be asked. This is because what they're saying goes against your human rights, and therefore they cannot impose it. What you have to understand is what they're telling you is bullshit. You also understand, or have to understand, there is only two ways that they can impose these regulations on you. The first one is through the fixed penalty notice, the on-the-spot fine. Now what I want you to do is exercise your right. Right? And take every one of them to court. Do not accept the fixed penalty notice. You have the right to go to court. So let's swamp the courts. Every single court case that has challenged the COVID regulations, without exception, has won. The second thing is they're using businesses, because businesses have the jurisdiction to impose rules on you through property rights and employment rights. Now, what they're not telling the businesses is if the businesses enforce these regulations, they are 100% liable for any damage that that vaccine does. Folks, that's your ticket out of it. Right? You hold them to account, you turn around to them and you ask for their liability insurance, because it must be in place before they can enforce any vaccine on you. So that's your ticket out of this. Okay? You turn around to them and say, I'll take your vaccine, but I want 5 million quid liability insurance in place. And I want £1,000 for every day I'm off from the allergic reaction to that vaccine. This is our ticket out of here, folks. We need to start hitting them where it hurts. Start taking them up. If you have been discriminated, come and see us. We will take it to the courts. As I say, the only way out of this is to fight back. So what you need to do is learn your rights and exercise your rights. Now, that's basically my little speech over. But remember one thing. This vaccine is still under trial. So you're automatically protected by the Nuremberg Code. Right? You're also protected by the fact that you don't have to give out your medical information. It means there's no requirement for a passport. And if they ask for it, you can prosecute under the Discrimination Act. Right? You can also basically, if they ask you for it, you turn around and say, I'll take it. But once I've taken it, I'm doing you for the Nuremberg, and I'm going to sue the ass off you. Right? Okay? Because we all know what this is really about. Is money. Control. Our system has got so corrupt that now what they're doing is our government are thinking of the most creative ways to pass our money that we give in taxes to the corporations. Right? And they're doing a great job of it. So remember, folks, stand up for your rights, exercise your rights. If you get handed a fixed penalty notice, turn around and say, I want to go to court. Give your name, address, and your date of birth, and say nothing else, right? And then swamp the courts. And if your work is forcing you to take a vaccine, write them a wee letter to ask them where their liability insurance is and see what their reaction is. Right? Because this is not law. This will never be law. And as I said before, if you read the sign, it's bullshit. So, take onus in the fact that we're going to win this, and we're going to win it through peaceful means. This will have to be the first protest ever that is going to be done with no blood spilt. Right? And as everybody has said here before, the only way out of this is civil disobedience. So you get on with your life, ignore everything, and if they try to stop you, you just turn around and say, I'm going to go to court, and I'm going to exercise my rights, and I'm going to ask you a lot of awkward questions. So folks, take pleasure in knowing that you are on the right side of the law. And you have these rights, and if we don't stand up for the rights, they're going to disappear. That COVID passport, they don't spend £36 billion on a COVID passport. This will turn into, as Melissa said, this will turn into your digital ID, right? And this is only the first stage of it. So folks, make sure you refuse everything, get everything on camera, and take it to court. Thank you very much.
Wow! Welcome Belfast! What a wonderful sight! Oh my goodness! So welcome my fellow truth seekers and freedom fighters. If you haven't been here before, we welcome you. We welcome the fact that you've woken up to this lie that has been perpetrated for the last 18 months. So, according to Van Morrison, Mr. Swan is a dangerous man. He's dangerous, all right. At the beginning it was, we follow the science, we follow the statistics, we follow the data. They don't follow any of that anymore, because what they do is they take the science and they take the data and they invert it. This is not a pandemic of the unvaxxed. This is a pandemic of the vaxxed, and they're the ones that are spreading it and killing us. Interesting though, Pfizer, when they ruled this out, said their vaccine had a 95% efficacy. Well, efficacy at what? Well, efficacy at creating antibodies. The ironic thing is that your immune system does a hell of a lot more than just with antibodies. 90% of your immune system that fights this virus does not need an mRNA vaccine. You can shove it up your backside. Who's got the bleeper handy? So folks, last weekend my fiance and I went down south to Galway. Just to get away, get our head charged.
Get your eyes open.
Huh?
Get your eyes open down south.
Talk about getting your eyes open. Exactly. When you see thousands of people walking around that beautiful city with masks on. When you go to get a cup of coffee or a bite to eat and they want you to show your papers. Well, that's what's coming here. Anything that's going to happen has already been pre-planned. Nothing we do, unless it's mass non-compliance, is going to stop this crap! Didn't say too bad a word there. I have met the most amazing people over this last 18 months. And if this is your first time here because you were somewhat skeptical about the tinfoil hat wearers and the conspiracy theorists, unfortunately, everything that we have said will come to pass, has come to pass, and everything that they say that they can stop by wearing masks and by vaccines, it's a lie. They want to shut down Christmas, they want to shut down our economy, they want to shut down our freedom, and they want us to be on our knees, and I say no more! We are the 99%! We do not consent! Viva la resistance! Power to the people! And thank you, Belfast! Thank you, Northern Ireland, for coming out and standing up together with us, because there's no future for us unless we grow together and fight this through non-compliance. There's lots going on in the background. We are going to hold these people legally accountable for their lies and the murder that they have inflicted upon healthy people. They started off saying, protect your granny. Now we're at, let's inject our 5 to 11-year-olds. Let's kill them too while we're at it. 2/3 of the people in hospital are double vaxxed with a positive COVID test. 80% of those who have died in hospital over this last 3 to 4 weeks are double vaxxed. That's the truth of the matter, and it's the same in every country in the world. If you go to Gibraltar, 100% vaccination, they have shut down that wee country, 40,000 people. Last year they had 10 deaths. Within a week of the vaccination programme rolling out, in January this year, 93 deaths. Wake up, people! Can you not see what's happening in front of you? Wake up! So folks, this cannot be the last rally. Look around how many people are here today. Let's double this the next time. It's only when we say no that this stops. It's only when we stand up with love in our hearts that this stops. And this is a satanic war. This is a battle between good and evil. And we really need to dig deep. Trust in our faith. Whether you're a Christian, a Muslim, whatever, trust in God. And stand up. Every morning that gets hard, stand up, give thanks, and say, I will not comply. I will not consent. And we are the resistance! God bless you all. Thank you. And thanks to everybody here. And all the wonderful speakers. You inspire me every time. This is what keeps me going, and seeing so many people on the same page, fighting for freedom, fighting for those people who don't realise that they have been sold a poison pup. And if they keep going down the road of taking these vaccines, you will see deaths in this country like you've never seen before. So folks, we say no more. We are the resistance.